We need a truce, Optimus. Size, all I wanted was to be. Bring me Thanos!
What's up, YouTube world? I animate them, I review them. Yo, what's up, YouTube world? I animate them, I review them. Tron here, and today, like I said I was going to be doing a trailer analysis for the new Transformers Rise of the Beast movie, which is 1 month away, and here I am recording the trailer analysis. Not only the trailer analysis, I will be covering a bunch of other Transformers news that's been happening over time, because this is a big year for Transformers. 4 years since the Bumblebee movie has been released in 2018, and that was a masterpiece, and which left the rest of Transformers fans wondering what's in store for Transformers Rise of the Beast. And here we are. We got trailers, and they just have a second trailer, which I said I will be covering. I will also be covering topics such as Transformers 1, which will be coming out in 2024, which is also a prequel for the entire Transformers lore, which will mainly be covering how Optimus Prime and Megatron were friends and what divided them. And actually, it's a movie for the whole Transformers prequel origin story of all the Transformers as a whole. And it will show them how they were being together as a species and what drove them apart, which I will be covering shortly. And I'll also be looking at a couple of new figures that's been revealed, and I'll be looking at a clip that's been released shortly. I already watched it, so unfortunately I can't make a reaction video on that, but I'll analyze that as well. And that's pretty much it. So let's get down to it. So let's start out with Transformers 1. So Transformers 1 has been talked about before when the Transformers The Last Night was being filmed, edited, and it was brought up when Transformers The Last Night was almost been released. So trailers of The Last Night have already been shown by the time they've been talking about the next stories for the next Transformers movie, and even talks about the Bumblebee movie, which already happened, and that, awesome, a masterpiece. Probably one of the best Transformers that happened, like, out of all of them, according to all the Transformer fans. However, Dark of the Moon still holds a heavy place in my heart. Still my favorite Transformers movie. Bumblebee is still good, but has not yet beat that. But so far, the title we've gotten for it was Transformers 1, and we already have a Transformers 1 from 2007, but not to be confused with that one. Transformers Rise of the Beast is going to be a prequel, not prequel, a reboot to the entire Transformers series, as I've heard before. And even Stephen Caple Jr., the director of Transformers Rise of the Beast, has also stated that it will be a reboot, and he says that something in the movie would actually show that it's going to be a reboot. But so I'm assuming that Transformers 1 would be the movie that starts the whole origin story for this new Transformers universe that Paramount is setting up for us. So just to see what's already been lined up for Transformers 1, we've already gotten writers, a director, we even got the whole cast set up, which is very strange, and I'll cover that soon. And there's also talks about it having setting up a partnership with another animation studio to make it in CGI, because the CGI is so expensive. As we saw in the Bumblebee movie, there's a Cybertron scene. A lot of money has went into that. Actually, for a lot of these Transformers, CGI is expensive, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of other movies, CGI is the most main expensive budgeting part of all the films that's been created with CGI, like Avatar, every Marvel movie that you've ever seen that's not Eternals, Jurassic Park, Star Wars. Star Wars was mainly practical effects, but a bit of CGI was used for that too, mainly in the sequels and the prequels. So they will be actually using the same CGI company that's been used for Star Wars, which they could have said they've been they agreed to use Industrial Light and Magic because that's the company that's used their CGI special effects for Star Wars and what they have been using for the other Transformers movies in the past. But it's a different CGI animation studio company. Let's see, I'm going to look that up. So it looks like for the CGI animation studio that they're partnering up with, they don't give the specifics, but they say that they're teaming up with an industry giant. So I'm assuming that's still Industrial Light and Magic, which they could have just said that. I mean, considering that they have been partnered with Paramount for making these Transformers movies, you know, for time and years since the first movie even came out. We even see there's an Easter egg where a tiny bit of animation of R2-D2 is flying to Optimus Prime when he's being combined with Jetfire in Revenge of the Fallen.
Jolt! Electrify! Transplant those afterburners!
Roll. You see it? Yeah, me neither.
So, I mean, if they're teaming up with Industrial Light and Magic, that's cool, because the Cybertron scenes in the Bumblebee movie made me very happy when I first saw it. As for the director of the new Transformers 1 movie is going to be Josh Cooley, who is the same director who directed Toy Story 4, which was a pretty cool film on its own as well. And then the writers will be Andrew Barr, Steve Desmond, Gabriel Ferrari. So hopefully this is a good origin story for Transformers. Hopefully it'll be dark because, to be honest, their history is kind of gritty. And then as for stars, that'll be starring in this new Transformers prequel. This is a weird section. Basically a bunch of well-known Hollywood actors going to be voicing for these new Transformers. So far we got 2 Avengers voicing for these Transformers. We got Chris Hemsworth, known for the mighty Thor in the MCU, as Optimus Prime. What do you think of that? Hopefully he's voicing Orion Pax because, I mean, it would be weird seeing him voice Optimus Prime. I mean, Orion Pax is Optimus Prime before he's Optimus Prime, but doesn't exactly take that title. And with Peter Cullen still voicing for Optimus Prime and Rise of the Beast, I think it'd be cool if they just have Chris Hemsworth voice Orion Pax. But that'll be interesting to see. And then we have Scarlett Johansson, voice of Elita 1, Optimus Prime's lover. So that'll be cool to see. I mean, Black Widow being Elita 1, I think that might be good. John Hamm is the voice of Sentinel Prime. I wonder if he's going to be having a type of Leonard Nimoy type of voice style for Sentinel Prime, because Sentinel Prime in Dark of the Moon was an iconic villain and well perceived. And then we have Brian Tyree Henry, the voice of Megatron. Don't know much of his role work, but I'll be sure to look him up later. But hopefully he does a good job as Megatron. And then we have Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee. Not sure if he's the voice of Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. Hopefully he pulls it off well. And Lawrence Fishburne as Alpha Trion, which I think is a pretty cool choice for Alpha Trion, because I think Morpheus would be a pretty good Alpha Trion. But that's pretty much the cast and production setup for Transformers 1. And that will be coming up next year, back to back after Rise of the Beast. Which is cool because we haven't had a back-to-back Transformers movie since between The Last Knight and Bumblebee. The Last Knight coming out in 2017 and the Bumblebee movie coming out in 2018, aka the year I graduated. Awesome year. In other news that are happening is stuff with Peter Cullen. He is going to be recording lines for the text-to-speech for Optimus Prime, which I don't know if it's already been on TikTok. I think some people have already tried using it. But I think that's really cool. I actually just started TikTok about maybe a few years back. So if you haven't already, check out my Tron 1984 TikTok. I'll be putting that in the description below. I got stop motions up, short stuff that you'll probably see both on Instagram and some stuff that you probably won't even see on Instagram. So go check that out. I made some cool videos, and I will definitely be using the text-to-speech voiced by Peter Cullen, because Peter Cullen has a legendary, iconic Optimus Prime voice. And I'm really glad that TikTok is able to record lines for Optimus Prime for people to use for their videos. In other news, we've just been revealed the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime figure, and he looks very magnificent. He's going to be Voyager scale. Definitely excited for this one. It's why I've been waiting on the mainline Optimus Prime, because it's like, why would you buy a figure for that size when you can buy something bigger that has more detailing, and that's going to be, you know, pretty much your money's worth. So yeah, it's a really cool Optimus Prime figure. It looks to be, I'm assuming, a remold from the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, which that on its own is also a good figure. I even got it right here in truck mode. Very awesome figure. This is a premium version. We actually have not seen any truck mode photos of Optimus Prime, but hopefully it looks something like how he does in the movie. I'm assuming that that's what they'll do, because I mean, that's the whole goal for Studio Series, is scale and accuracy to how they're shown on screen. It looks like he comes with his sword, his one arm gun, when he says,
Let them come.
My only problem with it is the gray. They seem to be using the same gray in the legs as the mainline Optimus Prime, which is the direct reason of why I decided to miss out on it, which is unfortunate, but oh well, at least they put some silver in his abdomen section, so at least I got that going, so it kind of breaks it up a little bit, so I can forgive that. But yeah, overall, he's just a good looking Optimus Prime. Definitely going to be buying it. Then they also just revealed the Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Megatron, which he looks sick. I have the original since I was 10 years old. I remember getting him from Target. He also had a little missile firing gimmick. And the only thing is, he doesn't come with his iconic mace that you were able to use in the video game. But this Studio Series Megatron is actually going to come with it, and that's going to be awesome. Tank mode looks awesome. Robot mode is awesome. I really like the grays, and I actually really overall like the Gamer Edition packaging. It just gives me so much nostalgia for the video game, seeing as I used to play it religiously every day before the servers actually were taken down. And we also get a look at the Studio Series Transformers Rise of the Beast Voyager class Rhinox. He looks pretty cool. Nice rhinoceros mode. I'm hoping that it's going to be different from the Kingdom Rhinox. I know some people complain that one of the figures was just a direct remold from the Kingdom Rhinox. I think it might be the main line. But if that's the case, I'm definitely going to have to go for the Studio Series opposed to that one, much like Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. And we've also gotten leaks for the new Transformers Legacy D16 Megatron, or Minor Megatron from the IDW comics. He's looking pretty cool. He's got a pickaxe, he's got a drill for the arm, and in tank mode, he's got a drill. So that's really cool. I like the black. Really can't wait to see him in stores. And that's it for Studio Series and Legacy figure reveals. Tickets for Transformers Rise of the Beast will be coming out on May 10th, so get them while you can. The runtime for Transformers Rise of the Beast will be 1 hour and 57 minutes. So I'm assuming when they said we'll be doing reshoots for Transformers Rise of the Beast, it's just to make the movie longer. Which, I mean, thankfully, I mean, you know, at least they did it just to increase the runtime, because if they're gonna make it less than what it was, you know, less than how they had it for the Bumblebee movie, then it just, I don't think it would have done successful, especially with what they've been coming out with Marvel, you know, shortly after the pandemic. Of course, now Marvel has got their let's see. So they got their Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's been doing pretty good, but all the stuff in between, in my own opinion, their content is kind of mid, to be honest. So I think waiting on Transformers Rise of the Beast to come out in this time was a smart move on Paramount and Hasbro. And now we're going to take a look at the clip analysis that's just been revealed. So here in this clip of Transformers Rise of the Beast is when the Autobots are going to meet the Maximals. We see the scene that we've seen in the first trailer with Optimus Primal coming in for a crash landing in front of these new humans that were introduced for this new movie.
Why are you hunting for the key?
And here we see Optimus Primal mentioning the Transwarp key that's been mentioned for the film. It looks to be the new MacGuffin device for Transformers Rise of the Beast. And I have a feeling the Transwarp key, if there's anything I've known from stuff that involves Transwarp, specifically an episode in Transformers Animated, there was a little mini series that they did that was about transwarping, which is a device that hooked up to a space bridge, where it makes a space bridge transport stuff without going randomly across the universe or whatever. Basically, it's a part that does that. Maybe the key actually triggers something for a new space bridge that invites Unicron, which is the big being that's going to be coming to Earth to eat it or whatever, because that's what Unicron does. He devours worlds.
And I will eat your world.
So who knows? Maybe the Terracons are hunting for that just to bring Unicron to Earth and consume it. And then we see Mirage come in, and he's all like,
"Yo, Donkey Kong, stay away from my friend! Mirage, don't worry, you boys got this." Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
The scream is priceless. And then we actually get our first voice sound of Wheeljack in RC.
Hey, 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 hey! Not so fast!
Hey, over here, kitty kitty.
To be honest, from Wheeljack's voice, I think it could actually work. I mean, the design is not the Wheeljack that we've all, known. But, I mean, he's very nerdy of the Autobots, and Wheeljack is a scientist, so it kind of works. I really wish that they could have used the Bumblebee design, though. But overall, they got his personality. I think it's going to be work. He's going to be probably this funny, nerdy character that everyone comes to like. So RC is looking dope. And then we get the scene where Optimus Prime comes in and tells Optimus Primal to
Stand down! I won't ask a second time.
And as you can see from this scene alone, the CGI in this has gotten a lot better than what we've seen in the first trailer. It actually looks pretty much finished. If you look at the whole abdomen and chest section of Optimus Prime, you can see the little weathering and rust details. The CGI actually looks like metal. And then we see all the Maximals and all the Autobots in a little Mexican standoff. And there you go. There is the analysis clip for the new Transformers Rise of the Beast movie. So now let's get into the trailer. So right off the bat in the trailer, we see, as usual, a few scenes before the trailer actually starts. And the trailer kicks off with the song Rough Riders, which is a childhood song of mine. My parents would play that for me when they picked me up in preschool, so that's fun. However, what it kind of contradicts continuity-wise is that this movie, it takes place in 1994. Shout out to when Beast Wars first aired. And Rough Riders didn't come out till 1998, just a few years before young Tron was born. So that's kind of strange. I mean, I get the message, it's from the 90s, it's a 90s song, but with it coming out in that year, it kind of contradicts it. I don't know if it's going to be featured in the movie, or maybe it's just a trailer choice, who knows. But it's really cool that they're actually using it.
For centuries, our kind has stayed hidden on Earth. But darkness has found us again.
So here in this scene, we see the Maximals just walking around. We got Air Razor flying, doing what, animals do. They're out in the jungle, just doing what they do in their alt modes. And then Ron Perlman, voice of Optimus Primal, says that their species has been there for years, kind of like an ancient alien thing that they've been doing in the Bayverse for years and years and years since the first Transformers movie. Because that's just what you do with aliens. You just make an ancient alien's origin out of it.
Prime.
And then we get to see a cool part of a G1 transformation for Optimus Prime as he's rolling up, which hopefully looks to be like a Old Man Logan story to Optimus Prime. It's after the war, Cybertron has fell, and right now he's on Earth and with a few Autobots, and he's just torn down after all this happened. So we'll know how it really brought him down in the Transformers 1 movie, and we see Optimus Prime just doesn't know what to do after the fall of Cybertron. I believe Stephen Caple Jr. has said before that Optimus Prime actually wanted to go back to Cybertron. He doesn't want to stay on Earth, so this is a whole new turn that we've seen on Optimus Prime. Stephen Caple Jr. also says that this will be Optimus Prime's movie, and I think this will not only be Optimus Prime's movie, but Optimus Prime's year on its own, as we've seen Peter Cullen doing the text-to-speech. Optimus Prime has done stuff for showing up at like basketball games and a little dance performance for Toby Meadway.
Coachella, this is Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. Please welcome to the stage my friend Toby Meadway.
So yeah, I think this is really Optimus Prime's movie. Usually we've seen Bumblebee in the spotlight, and it's really cool to finally see my favorite robot hero having the spotlight on its own. We've only seen that in the Optimus Prime comics and IDW and Marvel comics, and now we actually get to see Optimus Prime have some light, so that's really cool.
This is about the fate of all living things. Unicron is coming.
And then we see a little laser beam show up, kind of like Dark of the Moon. And then, to my surprise, Ron Perlman says, Unicron is coming. So that's really awesome. And Unicron is what Transformers fans have all been waiting for. But in my reaction video, if you notice, I said I was actually surprised that they were actually bringing Unicron in for this moment, because Unicron is like the Thanos of Transformers, and I believe I've read a headline somewhere that Unicron would actually have a Thanos story arc for Transformers. So that's really cool to see. And Unicron will be voiced by the actor Coleman Domingo. I'm not sure of his previous roles that he's done before, but hopefully he does a good job as Unicron. But overall, Unicron on his own, he looks really cool. That is Unicron. Unicron, like I said, he looks like the HasLab. That's really awesome. Well, his scale is awesome. If he's Earth from the Bayverse, I do not know. A theory that I've been thinking about is if Scourge, what they were talking about, if Scourge is Bayverse Optimus Prime, would this mean that this Unicron is the same Unicron from the Bayverse, if it's trying to continue from transitioning from the Bayverse to this new continuity? Because if this is Unicron from the Bayverse, that means Unicron has pretty much won. He's awakened. That means that Earth, everything that's lived on that Earth, and every Transformer that fought against Unicron in that movie has died and lost terribly. And if that's the story arc that they're going for this, it's gonna be a pretty good movie. But we'll just have to wait and see. Or maybe Scourge and Unicron might not be from the Bayverse, but that'll be for us to find out. All I know is that Unicron, he looks pretty dope. But if they're going for that story arc, that might just be the smartest move that Hasbro and Paramount are making. Because when you think the Transformers is going to build up to a threat like Unicron, you would think that they would do something like the MCU, where they would have like a bunch of different other movies with each character teaming up for Unicron's return. Much like Marvel and the IDW comics, where you have G.I. Joe, Mask, Micronauts, and a bunch of other Hasbro properties, which was talked about before when I was in sophomore year in 2015. But it looks like they're kind of rewriting it. Maybe that might still be the plan, but we'll just have to find out later on.
It won't stop! Back up!
Oh, I thought we were boys!
You want it? Come and get it!
And here we see, just like how we've seen in the first trailer, we see Noah finding the Porsche that's in a parking lot. Maybe it's like a tracks and roll thing from G1, where he finds that cool car and he's trying to steal it, and then he becomes friends with the Transformer, which instead of Tracks, it will be Mirage. And then we see Mirage bring it back to the base, which seems to be some type of warehouse the Autobots are using as their safe haven. Kind of similar to Transformers Animated, where they use the warehouse in Detroit as their base. So that's a really cool nod there. And then we see Optimus Prime transforming and walking up inside. And the human, Noah, is just stunned at his massive scale. But Optimus Prime doesn't seem too happy.
You brought a human here?
I'm nobody. I ain't even seen nothing. I'm not even seeing anything right now.
That's funny.
You hold the list and you haven't met the aim. Stop!
And then we see the giant chase that happened. I think it said it went from New York to Peru, as we are seeing. We see on the road, Battle Trap is driving with Nightbird. So that's really cool, and it seems that they're doing like a little team up in alt mode, which is really cool to see. They're just working together on the chase to fight against the Autobots or outrun them, however the scene is going to play out. We see Battle Trap just launching his tow cables right at Nightbird to do a little fight sequence. So that's really cool. They're not fighting, but they're fighting with the Autobots. We'll just have to see how it plays out, but I really like how he's using his tow cables to help Nightbird out, do some kind of acrobatic stunt.
This is not our war.
Optimus, we must trust each other to protect the home we all share.
And as we see Optimus Prime, he says, "This is not our war," which is really cool because we've seen that in Sam's shoes, where he actually says, "This is not our war."
This isn't my war.
Not yet. But I fear it soon will be.
And it's really cool to see Optimus Prime have Sam's point of view in his own way. Like I said, he's been brought down and kind of given an old man Logan story, Fall of Cybertron. And then we get to see how the Maximals would team up with the Autobots. And we see Air Razor telling Optimus Prime to team up with them. Otherwise, Earth is done. Their whole species is done, because only together they can fight up against Unicron. Because Unicron is the threat that brings all the Transformers together to fight against. And we see Unicron actually come to Earth, so that's pretty cool. He's got his little maws.
How big can this guy be?
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet.
In the end, everything you cared for will be consumed.
Maybe there's another way to save our home.
And then we go here and we see a shot with Scourge inside of Unicron with his eyeballs, kind of similar to how Galvatron talks to Unicron, because he is his herald. That seems to be the case with Scourge. He seems to be a herald working for Unicron. So we get to actually see the inside of Unicron, which is slightly different from G1, because in G1, he had TV screens, but now we just get to see Scourge looking at his eyeballs. That's really cool, seeing the massive scale of Unicron. And then we see Bumblebee doing an awesome scene where he's jumping out of stratosphere, much like how we've seen in the Super Bowl TV spot where we see him getting ready to jump out of the plane, which is also a cool reference to Transformers Dark of the Moon, the video game. We see him just jumping out of stratosphere and landing into the battlefield. But wait, he's doing more than that. He is going to be dual wielding his blasters that we've seen in the Bumblebee movie, and he's shooting these type of drone looking things.
In the end, everything you cared for will be consumed.
Maybe there's another way to save our home.
You've never faced anything like this.
And here we see a scene where we get to hear Scourge actually speak for the first time, and he is being voiced by Game of Thrones' Peter Dinklage. Overall, with his voice for Scourge, I think it actually works. Very sinister. He says, everything you've ever known will be consumed, which definitely shows for a fact he will be a herald of Unicron. If he's a Bay vs. Optimus Prime, or if he's just another bounty hunter from Cybertron, that's still up for question. We also get to see another shot of Scourge stabbing Bumblebee. Concerned to see if Bumblebee is actually going to die or not. Don't know for sure if they're going to bring him back, but if they bring him back, they should bring him back as Goldbug. So that would be cool. Or who knows, they might kill him off forever. Who knows?
Maybe there's another way to save our home.
And then we see a scene where Noah and the other human girl, I forget her name is, but I know the actress is Dominic Fishback. They're running from some type of Transformer, kind of similar to the college scene in Transformers Friends of the Fallen, where Alice is running after Sam. But they seem to be in some type of museum, probably running from Freezer, as the Studio Series Freezer has a background of what looks to be of a museum. So maybe this might be that. Maybe Freezer is running after these humans. And then we get the shot of what's been shown to us before the trailer actually drops, with RC, Wheeljack, Optimus Primal, and Optimus Prime himself.
You've never faced anything like this. Let them come.
And then the battle wages on, and we get to see a bunch of Scorponoks, which has actually been revealed before the movie that one of the figures would be Scorponok, but it seems to be an entire army, probably similar to what they've done in Transformers Kingdom, where they copy and pasted a bunch of Scorponok's as the Predacon drones that they're fighting. And then here we get a scene with Bumblebee and Noah using what looks to be the exosuit from the Transformers 1986 film.
Noah,
Take the wheel.
This is really awesome for them to bring back, because we've seen humans use Transformer technology, like Sam using the grappling hook that killed Starscream in Transformers Dark of the Moon, or even Kate Yeager using the sword gun to shoot the prototypes in Age of Extinction, and up until the last night using it to fight, I think, military drones. He used that a lot in a couple films. We don't know if it's going to transform exactly, but that's for us to find out. And we see Bumblebee do this kind of a breakdance transformation, which could be a reference to Jazz from the video games. If so, that is a cool reference, because I really like playing as Jazz and seeing him do that type of transformation every time he transforms. Gives him more of a smooth style. But I feel like Noah's gonna teach Bumblebee how to breakdance, since, you know, the 90s, it was all about bringing your box and then, you know, just breakdancing on a piece of cardboard, you know, just kicking it. And Bumblebee might actually apply that to battle. So that's really cool. That's it for Transformers news. Hope you liked this video. I hope you're excited for Transformers Rise of the Beast just as much as me. Buy your tickets on May 10th. So I'll be coming out with more videos. I am currently working on Transformers War on Earth, episode 6. Auditions are pretty much almost getting ready to be wrapped up. I got Viacons and regular roles being filled. I'm looking for a role for a human character named GB Blackrock. I won't be a voice kind of like Robert Downey Jr. If you want to voice him, let me know on DM. I would also be posting more stop motion shorts. Like I said, I got TikTok. Go check that out. I'll leave it in the description below. Follow me on Instagram at official_Eric Tron. And peace. We are out of here.
You must see why I had to betray.
You betrayed yourself.